Alright guys, what's going on? It's Christian here. Everyone is fair game, says Piers Morgan, so here's my message to him. I want him to see it, so go and link it to him. Tell him whenever you think he's being hypocritical or he's being divisive or he's being, stirring the pot, go and link him to this, because this puts out an argument that is impossible for him to retort to. But also, while you're here, drop a like on the video and subscribe. This is a rant video, I must warn you, and it does go against Piers Morgan. Now, first of all, on Piers Morgan, let me say, sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong. He has very strong opinions and he puts them across, usually very articulately, but also he picks and chooses his debates, especially on social media, where he will quote, retweet somebody that spells "you're" wrong or puts Pierce rather than Piers. Now, in case you've been living under a rock, there has been a lot of controversy around Liam Neeson, and then the fallout from that, which mainly involves Piers Morgan and John Barnes. It is my opinion that as a white, straight male from England, it is nearly impossible for me to give any real valid opinions, apart from the fact that it's completely wrong to be racist or homophobic or xenophobic or whatever. Yeah, it's impossible for me and subsequently Piers Morgan to give a reactionary piece, because we don't understand what it feels like. We should listen to the thoughts of minorities in order to come to some sort of conclusion about how we can solve various different issues that are still widespread across the world. So Piers Morgan, Hypocrite. In late 2014, so just over 4 years ago, Piers Morgan wrote an article for the Daily Mail, much like he did with the Liam Neeson outburst, on Mark Wahlberg. Now, if you know Mark Wahlberg, you'll probably be aware that he's had an unsavoury past, to say the least. He's been to jail, he's done various different things. The article goes and explains it, and I will link both articles down below. The one where Piers Morgan calls Liam Neeson a murderous racist, and this second article where he speaks about Mark Wahlberg, and to quote, "If Mark Wahlberg's victim can forgive him for his racist violence, it's time the rest of us did too." That is the title. And basically he goes on to detail, without me reading the whole article, I'll read you what happened in this situation. In 1988, Mark Wahlberg went on a sickening rampage of drug-fueled racist violence that would cost him his liberty. He was arrested. He was subsequently charged with attempted murder. Remember that, because that's very important. He basically started attacking Vietnamese people on the street. He used a stick, a large wooden stick, this is per the article, to knock a Vietnamese man unconscious while screaming something that I don't particularly want to say, but you can see in the article. And a few hours later, he attacked a second Vietnamese man. He punched him so hard in the face that it's thought he blinded him. I think subsequently it was found out that he didn't. According to the official police report, Wahlberg boasted proudly about his guilt and made numerous unsolicited racial statements about something that I don't want to say. Wahlberg only served 45 days in jail. He was released. Piers Morgan interviews him very far down the line, and he uses the following words. And this is a direct quote. He says, "I came away from this interview very impressed by Mark Wahlberg. He was remarkably self-aware, intelligent and thoughtful, and it was clear that not a single day goes by when he doesn't regret the vile human being he indisputably was as a troubled teenager." Mark Wahlberg actually acted out on his racist thoughts that he had in his head. Liam Neeson had the thoughts with no intention, or didn't. He might have had the intentions to do it, but he didn't act out it, and he subsequently very quickly realised how stupid those thoughts were, and of course they were. Why should the actions of one vile human being define the entire race? That's nonsensical, don't get me wrong, but why has he given Mark Wahlberg this clear run, despite the fact that he was charged with attempted murder and only served 45 days in jail, and actively targeted people of Vietnamese descent, according to this article? And Piers Morgan saying that we should forgive him, but that Liam Neeson's a murderous racist. Do you see what I mean? It's not just me, right? And I quote from the Mark Wahlberg article written by Piers Morgan: "At some point society will have the capacity to forgive you and expunge your record from the past. This won't apply to every criminal, famous or otherwise, because not many will actually deserve it." Well, has Liam Neeson done anything? Mark Wahlberg has earned that right. Huh? That's what he said. The last sentence of that article was Mark Wahlberg has earned that right. Liam Neeson didn't act on it. Murderous racist. The title of the Liam Neeson article, I'm sure you've read it, is "Sorry Liam Neeson, but if you talk like a murderous racist, behave like a murderous racist, and now cynically use your murderous racism to sell a movie, then you're guilty of being a murderous racist." Liam Neeson is a murderous racist according to Piers Morgan. But Mark Wahlberg, who actually went out there charged with attempted murder, not a murderous racist. His one happened in 1988. Okay. Liam Neeson's happened 40 years ago. Do you see what I mean? There are so many lines that link this story together, and yet his opinion is completely different. Why is it completely different? Because in my opinion, Piers Morgan does and says what he can to be the most in the limelight around these situations. Why? Because that's how he earns his living, and he's very good at it. In fact, he's probably one of the best in the world at it. He's got far more fame, money, social stature than I ever will, but he does it with things like this, and I just want everyone that may not agree with Piers Morgan to see very clearly that there is an agenda here. I don't understand why. So Piers, happy to speak to you at any time regarding anything I've said in this, but it won't happen. And also I understand that people have the capacity and should be able to ultimately go and change their minds based on reasonable debate that they've heard in a 4-year and 2-month period, and gather new information and form a different opinion. That's fine. You're not a hypocrite if you can go and justify the reasons why you think you were wrong before and why you think you're right now. If you legitimately do that with valid thoughts, you're not a hypocrite. This, though, is basically two things on the same line, apart from one of them's worse and has a completely different opinion, whereas one of them is still bad. Don't get me wrong, what Liam Neeson said is disgusting, but has a completely different opinion. You see what I mean? I'm not speaking to idiots, I should know that, if you made it this far. So yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, dislike if you feel like it, and do share this video with Piers Morgan. Put it on his timeline, just click the copy link, put it on any post that he puts out. I just want an answer. That's it. I just want an answer. Give me the reason. I can't find it. Maybe Piers has got different ideas. And if he doesn't answer you, call him Piers. Use the wrong "your." He'll probably answer you then. Anyway, guys, I'm Christian. As always, have a great day. Bye. Alright. Yeah, subscribe, I guess. You know what you're doing here. There's the button. YouTube says you'll like this. That's my last one.